Okay, let's call the meeting to order, please. Roll call, Cassandra.
Legislator Hathaway.
Here.
Legislator Berkler. Here. Legislator Mosier. Here. Legislator Gilbert.
Here.
Legislator Chartrand has been excused. Legislator Moorhan. Here. Legislator Leatherher.
Here.
Legislator Osborne.
Here.
Legislator Nellenbach.
Here.
And Legislator Dahlhoff.
Here. Please stand for the invocation and the pledge. And Legislator Gilbert, would you lead us in the invocation, please?
Yes. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to serve our neighbors on this board and for all the blessings we enjoy. Be with those who've lost loved ones in the last year, especially meeting in the holiday season. We know that can be difficult, but continue to inspire us, Lord, with wisdom as we pursue the common good in Lewis County. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The December 6th board meeting minutes have been distributed and stand approved if there are no amendments. Report of the Finance and Rule Committee per Rule 6. Cassandra, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance and Rules Committee has met and they recommend to waive rules to act upon late resolutions.
Need a motion. Lisa, second by Jessica. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing. We have a public hearing on CDB project number 636 CBHR 50-22.
That's easy for you.
Apartment project. I will open that now. It needs to be open for 30 minutes. Is there anyone here that would like to comment on that? Cassie, you look like you're ready.
Yes, I'm just, trying to get here. Yeah, itching. I'm here to speak on behalf of Jalen, the Executive Director of Snowbelt Housing, to give you all an update. Being that this is the second public hearing, Lewis County, as a recipient, is mandated to hold this to comply with the regulations in the grant. So on April 14th, 2022, Lewis County was awarded the CDBG-CB program funding and has been working with Snowbelt Housing to administer said grant. And they are working, or they have been working on the extensive renovation of McNeil Park Apartments in Copenhagen. McNeil Park Apartments is a 15-unit apartment building which is regulated by USDA and provides safe, subsidized housing options for low, moderate income residents who are also senior citizens or those who have been diagnosed with a disability. McNeil Park provides a cost-effective alternative in which residents pay only 30% of their income for rent and utilities. This allows for the most vulnerable residents in the community to receive safe and affordable housing. Rehabilitation efforts focused on the following improvements related to the environmental, structural, health, and safety deficiencies of the property, replacement of the original wood siding with vinyl siding, replacement of roof, repair of interior walls, common area carpet, doors, and ceilings, repair of damaged and deteriorated sidewalks and parking lot deficiencies, replacement of all emergency exit signs, smoke detectors, heat detectors, nurse alarms, installation of fire alarm panel and auto transmit emergencies to appropriate authorities, and added ADA compliant handsets to the exterior doors. The existing tenants were not displaced during the duration of this work. The project is nearing completion and the following items are under construction: installation of the emergency generator, finalizing the installation of the AC units for each apartment, and repairing water damage to individual units. The inability to repair deficiencies such as these can result in code violations and or the closure of the property. So all construction will allow for the better preparation and response to the outbreak of communicable diseases such as COVID-19 pandemic in an LMI senior and disabled property. Everybody get that?
Got it. All right.
Thank you.
We don't have to repeat it back to the quiz.
No.
Okay, would anyone else like to comment on the CBDG project. We'll leave that open and move to privilege of the floor. Is there anyone here that would like privilege of the floor? See no hands. We'll move on to presentations of petitions, communications, and notices.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, but I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Reports of standing committees. Let's start with Tom with finance and rules.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion that I would like to make a motion to authorize a 2-year renewal policy for the Midwest Employers Casualty Company at a fixed rate of $72,468 per year for excess workers' compensation and liability coverage.
Moved by Tom. Do I have a second? Lisa. Discussion. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all I have at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions for Tom? Thank you, Tom. And we move to Ian with general services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing to report.
Any questions for Ian? Thank you, Ian. And we'll move to Lisa with health and human services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing to report as well.
Any questions for Lisa? If not, Dick is not here, and Jerry's not here, so we have nothing to report on the hospital, unless someone else has a comment. Then we'll move to county manager report. Ryan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Earlier this week, we took the Watertown Daily Times through our project sites at the Highway Department, DMV, and the DSS location. Afterwards, she went through the hospital project. So I would expect a nice, front page story with some photos within the next week. So keep your eye out for that. One thing that I made sure to highlight was all the local contractors that we have working on the job. Betty and Kring is a Watertown company, but the other 3 primes are all Lewis County companies. And the foreman and a lot of the folks from Betty and Kring that are working on this job are Lewis County residents. So we've been very lucky with a crew of folks that have really taken a lot of pride working for their hometown. And so I wanted to make sure that was highlighted, so I hope it makes it into the article. We are expecting some weather this weekend when Bob McKenzie and Tim Hunt are both, taking it seriously. That's when you know that we need to take it seriously, I guess. We will be closing the solid waste facilities in Croghan and Lowville on Saturday. It was only going to be a half day anyway, but there's no point in having the public, we want to get out ahead of, having people try to drive up there to drop stuff off just to see it closed. So that will be closed. And, I hope that our first responders and highway department folks don't need to spend all Christmas out and about, but that's what we do. If we have to be out there, we will do it. So hopefully it's not as bad as folks predict, but we'll see. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Any questions for Ryan? I'm going to back up a step here, and under privilege of the floor, I think Phil wanted to comment.
New business.
Okay. New business. All right, we'll move on to Eric with the county treasurer report.
I have no report.
Any questions for Eric? If not, we'll move on to report of the Finance and Rule Committee per Rule 7. Cassandra?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance and Rule Committee reports that they have examined the claims presented for payment in the total amount of $1,266,396.23 and recommend that they be audited and allowed for the amounts claimed.
Need a motion? Lisa, second. Bill, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carries. So can we move on to resolutions, and Lee, is there a resolution in here for the CDBG?
No.
Okay.
You said that.
Okay, so which, other than 306, are there any others that need to be called?
Right now I have just 306 and then all of the late resolutions will be done separately.
Anyone have any other resolutions that would like to pull and vote on separately? If not, would someone make a motion to pass the rest of the resolutions as a slate? Lisa, second by Jessica. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Slate carries. And we're back to 306.
Auditing and allowing claims in the amount of $1,266,396.23.
Moved by Josh, second by Andrea. Discussion. No discussion. This is a roll call.
Legislator Osborne.
Yes.
Legislator Chartrand has been excused. Legislator Nullenbach.
Yes.
Legislator Verkler.
Yes.
Legislator Leviker.
Yes.
Legislator Mosier.
Yes.
Legislator Morahan.
Yes.
Legislator Gilbert.
Yes.
Legislator Hathaway.
Yes.
And Legislator Dahlhoff.
Yes.
The first late resolution is resolution number 329-2022, resolution authorizing Lewis County to participate in and accept fiscal year 2020 hazmat grant funds awarded to Jefferson County as lead agency under New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services.
Moved by Lisa, second by Tom. Okay. Discussion. Okay, show Jeff recusing himself and all in favor.
Aye.
Anyone else opposed? And motion carries.
Resolution number 330-2022, resolution reappointing member to Region 6 Fish and Wildlife Management Board.
Need a motion, Andrea, second by Josh.
Pretty sure that's a good idea.
Any discussion? Limited discussion, run this through. Right, Jackie? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 331-2022, resolution appointing members to Labor Management Safety Committee.
Moved by Lisa, second by Jessica. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Resolution carries.
Resolution number 332-2022, preliminary classification of proposed purchase of real property as a Type 1 action for purposes of the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act.
Moved by Jessica, second by Lisa. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carries.
And the last one is resolution number 333-2022, resolution appointing members to Traffic Safety Board.
Moved by Andrea, second by Tom. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carries. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to other business and we'll start with legislator Hathaway.
I promised Larry I'd be brief, which is really not my forte, but as we all know. But I just wanted to let everybody know that 2023 will be my last year on the board. I'm not going to run for re-election. And I just wanted to let you know that and kind of forewarn you, because I'll probably we'd be more troublesome than I have been in the past.
Go out with a bang.
More trouble, more trouble.
Get ready.
More troublesome.
More,
More like a bank.
it'd be hard to be more troublesome. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know.
Well, thank you, Phil. Thank you for your service. We will move on to Ryan. He has some proposed committee goals.
Look at you.
Oh, no, that's it.
Already on top of it.
Mr. Chairman, while Ryan is distributing those, if I could just comment, make one comment.
Sure.
As you know, the county employees hold a basket raffle every year. Kind of a good camaraderie thing amongst the departments and some others who participate from the court side as well, and Lewis defenders, and Amanda and Cassandra really run the show on that and did a terrific job. We had incredible baskets. You'll see that one of our legislators won one as well. But we were able to raise $2,000 for the food pantry this year, and that's the most we have ever raised in any of our basket raffles, so we're pretty proud of that. So we want to thank all the departments and everybody who participated with their baskets and also with their dollars to support the food pantry.
Okay. Ryan, you have the floor.
I sent this out earlier this week, and it really mirrors what we did last year. In fact, this year we're even a little bit ahead of the schedule, talking about the goals, in December rather than January. My hope is that we can have some discussion today. These are big picture items, right? There's a lot of smaller things that of course we want to accomplish. There's a lot of, department level goals that are obviously not included. These are, our guiding lights through our committee, as we schedule our committee meetings over the next year. I think last year I was very, I was pleased the way that we were able to schedule our committee meetings to stay focused on these items. And I think that we were able to make progress, if not complete many of the items from last year. And there's a few that are pretty big, sticky, hairy issues that we need to continue to work on. And so you'll see some repeats, carried over to 2023. But, this to me is the role of governance. I mean, this is where we need the legislative guidance the most, is on setting those priorities and setting the general direction for the legislative agenda over the next year. So we've got some time, thanks to Cassie's public hearing. We can't go anywhere anyway. So I thought now would be a good time to go over these and, additions, subtractions, reflections on, things that we've worked on that we maybe haven't moved quite as quickly as we would have liked. For example, EMS, I think we need to put an enhanced value in that next year. But anyway, that's the purpose, and I'll turn it over to you guys for discussion and comment, and we'll take notes, and the final list will be presented to the committees in January.
I have some goals that I kind of was thinking about, and they might fall under the Health and Human Services, or they might fall under something, one of the other categories. The DSS move, because we will be moving back this year, I think that should be addressed, so we don't lose sight of that. Public Health has a new app coming out, and I think that somehow, I don't know if we could put that under D, just the Public Health Improvement Plan, and support the app rollout, because I do think that could be a way to help move the needle on the health of our county. Childcare isn't listed anywhere.
Well, we solved it.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? My children still don't have childcare.
You missed that.
Yeah, I must have missed that.
Where were you?
Oh, I guess I
Taking
was
care of her
Yeah,
kids.
taking care of her kids. So I think we should have something there, childcare, either, continuing to try to engage kinder care or look for sites, or like how we look for sites for the homeless initiative, maybe something on that route. And then complete street projects. I don't really have any full-fledged goal with this. I just think it's a great, concept program. There's lots of grants out there that we should maybe look into that to try to help the health of our county as well.
Tim, are we trying to do that Glenfield project in 2024? Yeah. So that'll be our first stab at real complete streets with sidewalks and everything when we do redo Main Street in Glenfield. I don't know if we have anything specifically scheduled for 2023. Katz?
I worked it into my budget, so Tim, Anna Potts, and I are working together on a countywide complete streets plan that'll have mini plans for each village and hamlet. So that'll be completed. So what we think we're gonna go out to RFP at the beginning of January to award it. Yep, by March, we should have a consultant in line to do a countywide plan with focused efforts on individual hamlets and villages.
Perfect, so that can be just to engage all those hamlets,
Yep.
and villages, that people,
Yeah.
those lines.
Well, it's something we can, track and make sure that we have at least a couple committee, presentations on over the next year.
And the last one, some sort of initiative to help, and I don't think that maybe this would fall under mine, but probably not, just initiative to help fill some of the positions that are open at the county and the hospital. I don't know, engaging, what's the word? Someone from the outside to come in to help us, but I do think that, especially at the hospital, we are doing a disservice by keeping these positions vacant or filling them in with contract workers, and I think that it's something that we need to get serious at looking at, so those are all my cheery goals.
Some people just can't get enough homework.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would say to get our maternity ward back up. That's very, very important to our people.
Well, that would tie right into the staff, because they do not currently have the staff for it, and that's on all levels.
Dan in particular needs to get going again. If it doesn't,
They were saying they're hoping for April 1st, but at my last appointment, they said I'll probably get shipped out, so it doesn't,
yeah, I don't know if
sound
they're ready.
promising.
I'm not sure.
I think that, Dick's not here, but I go to all the hospital board meetings as well. The hospital board of managers has been forcefully advocating for that. But I do think the legislative support is important because it's a heavy lift. It's hard. But we need to if we identify it as one of our priorities, then that will, continue to pressure them to keep moving forward. So I think it's a good idea.
And I know Jerry said, if this is a department which loses money in the hospital. But in Jerry's own words were, I think, something, without a maternity ward, it doesn't feel like a hospital, and I think that's true. Definitely.
I know that they are having a hard time recruiting a physician for it, but they also are having a hard time recruiting nurses. The nursing home is very short on CNAs, so it's sort of everywhere that needs a lot of focus with recruiting and retention. It's
Do
really,
you think that's because of what their wages are?
the Samaritan does have higher wages, but I think it's also speaks to the greater, what's going on right now, the trends with employment. And I do think that
they're doing a lot of the good stuff, but maybe we just need the county position they're up to. I think maybe we just need to take a different look at it. Both HR departments are great, but clearly this is a crisis. Everyone's looking for the same kind of workforce, so how do we get the good ones?
One thing that Phil had talked about that I didn't put on here, but a lot of counties across the state are doing like comprehensive compensation surveys, like looking at, every position top to bottom. We did one in 2016, right before I came here, we did one. But that was just for management. We haven't done a top to bottom salary survey. My thought was, there's so many counties that are doing them that we can just kind of use theirs. But, if we talk about that and really put it on our list here, then we've got to be prepared to adjust things accordingly. And that's where the rubber hits the road, and that's where things can get difficult, right? So if you do the report or you take this initiative on, you got to be prepared to act on it. And I wasn't sure if that's something we wanted to take on in the next year.
I think that helps fill positions, and I think it should be included with the hospital as well to make sure that across the board.
The hospital does benchmarking. That's something they do continually, which we don't really do.
I'll note just a few things. Looking back to the proposed goals that we had for this year, I think it's worth saying that we've had an incredibly productive year. I don't think that's an exaggeration. And I think that's a testimony to this board and also to the quality of the staff that we have here in Lewis County. And they've been aggressive goals and we've accomplished a lot. And I think it might be worth even taking some time to look over the goals that we did a year ago and see how many we can check off, or at least, show some kind of progress report on. The one thing I know we included on for general services, this has come up in the last few weeks, and I know some of the committee members have approached me about having more discussions to come up with solutions for our recreation patrol. Having really, I think, a meeting of the minds over staffing with the sheriff's department, with our other departments that are involved in recreation, and come up with some kind of, I think, a bold plan, but something that everybody can be proud of and be happy with. So I would like to see us hold meetings in the next few weeks with members of the General Services Committee, with the sheriff, with people from his department, with other people who need to give input, obviously other county staff as well, and try to come up with some kind of solution. And I know that can be a tall order. I think that this is the right time to do it though for us, and I think that we're in a good position to do that. That was part of why that was included. But I also appreciate the input the committee members have given me over the last few weeks, who have been wanting to see us come to some kind of understanding and be able to move forward from there. So thank you. I'll also say just, Andrea made a very good point about the salaries that we have at the hospital. And this is a thing that ties in really well, and I'm glad that these discussions happen at the county level. It ties into all the discussions we have about quality of life, into things that we discussed about changing demographics, our aging population. Really, if you want to incentivize people, especially coming out of, say, medical school or nursing, to come to rural communities, you have to focus not just on salary, but on quality of life. And that's something that ties in with our recreation plans, ties in with housing, our tax rates, the cost of living, all of those things tie together. And it's really great that I think we've had these discussions, and I think that's guiding a lot of these committee goals that we have. Salary is certainly a big part of it, but salary is just one component, I think, in quality of life and building the kind of community where someone comes in not just as a stepping stone out of medical school for a few years so they can go on to someplace else, but where they really put down roots. They have kids, they send their kids to the local schools, they get involved in nonprofits and boards and things like that. That's really what we're looking at, I think, with a lot of these goals. So thanks for bringing that up, Andrea.
Okay, are we good on the public hearing?
We need a few more minutes.
You want to talk about your birthday party yesterday? Mike, do you have any words of wisdom for us? We're trying to fill in a few minutes here.
Would you like to tell us where your Christmas is gonna be on Sunday?
Well, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
I've talked to my niece about that. I want to thank all of you for the support you've given the hospital. It has been a difficult year, as it has been for hospitals across the state, across the country. We appreciate the fact that you renominated the 3 members. We're working very hard at a number of different goals. To be honest, we've had some setbacks. Interesting conversation about salaries and quality of life is very important to us. Unfortunately, I will tell you that as much as I think quality of life will give us some people here, we got shut down by someone we were trying to bring here to restart service because even though we are offering a substantial increase in pay over what we've paid in the past, it wasn't good enough. That is a very challenging environment for us. We filled a lot of mid-levels. We have some leaving. We're doing a much better job of recruiting. Lisa would know this. A big portion is getting nurses. We hope that you will come up and take a look at the building. The contractors are moving ahead quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I believe tomorrow is the day they promised to have the roof on so that we can work inside. We're hoping to have the new operating theater open by April or May, and the project done in time in December. Our goal is to be able to fill it. You have allowed us to build a modern facility that will help us, will help in recruiting, there's no question about it. Now we have, our goal next year is to find the people to fill those positions that allow us to use the expanded space. Nursing home is still an issue. Unfortunately, the state's new regulations with regards to staffing made it very difficult for us to get back to the old level of 160 people. We're at about 120, and because of the mix of population, we have to keep everything open, which makes it more difficult. We are working very hard. Mr. Kerr is really, his goal is to get the building done and move forward. Mr. Herbine is getting his feet wet and working very well as the new COO, and we're really looking forward to moving forward. Personal matter, I'm looking forward to helping in any way possible with the trail system. I think it's important to take advantage of my positions as a BOCES board member, school board member. That project is something that I hold dear for a number of reasons. I think it will, as Ian points out, help our quality of life. But I see it as a golden opportunity to give our students, our young people, something to improve on this county, to be able to work on and be able to be proud to be part of a new project. It's something that advances the county. Our BOCES board meeting last night, we talked about the fact that we had a huge increase in the number of students taking advantage of the tech program. Between the 2 centers in Glenville and Watertown, we had an increase of over 100 students. And a good portion of that is because we added the program. We have some programs that are very well maintained and quality students. But we want to offer more. This type of project and other things that the county may have, we hope to work together on. Give our community a reason for people to stay here, so we don't lose the young people. We want to give them not only the opportunity, but facilities that we want them to stay. So we appreciate everything you've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Gonna take up enough time?
You're
I
the
can
man.
talk forever if you want.
You're the man.
Brian's first year, can we make him sing at Christmas?
All right. Public hearing, CDBG project 636 CVHR 50-22, the Neal Apartments project. Is there anyone here that would like to make comments on that project? Seeing no interest, we will close that public hearing at this point. And we don't see a note for executive session. So we will move to adjournment, and we'd like to make a motion for adjournment. Bill, would like us to adjourn. Do I have a second? Needs a second, says all in favor?
More troublesome.
We're adjourned. Merry Christmas.
More troublesome. Construction.